Hey everyone, Ryan here at eTrailer. Today on our 2021 Chevy Silverado 3500, we're going to be checking out the B&W Companion fifth wheel hitch. And this is going to be set up for those of you that have the OEM prep package installed in your truck, which a lot of them out on the road are set up that way. And it's pretty convenient because those prep packages, you can take this fifth wheel hitch, drop it right into it, lock it down, and that's it, right? So super easy to get set up and everything like that. And if you're familiar at all with the towing world, especially more heavy duty towing, chances are pretty good you've probably heard of the B&W name, and there's a reason for it because the stuff that they make is awesome. I'm a huge fan of them. Everything is top quality and just works like you'd expect it to. This is going to be a fixed style hitch, meaning once you lock it down into your bed, that's what you get. You know, it's not going to be able to slide or anything like that. We have a short bed here today. I believe it's a 6 3/4. Then you got the even longer beds. With the long beds, I wouldn't worry about any clearance at all. This would be more than enough. And honestly, even on this short bed, if you want to call it that, you got quite a bit of room. I mean, we still have a toolbox up here. It's not in the way at all, not a tight fit. I did measure from the bulkhead of the bed to the furthest or closest point of the hitch down here. It was about 32.5 inches, so quite a bit of space there. But with that said, if you are concerned about clearance, cab clearance, making really tight turns or anything like that, if maybe your fifth wheel hangs way over and you don't want to have to worry at all about making contact with the cab corners, that's where the sliding type hitch would come into play. When you make those types of maneuvers, the hitch can be slid back. I think it's about 1 foot usually, and that'll buy you more than enough room to not have to worry about any of that. And with these as well, if you've got a fixed type hitch like this, you can always use a rotating pin box on your camper as well. It's okay to use that type of pin box with this hitch. So that's another way you can get around any clearance issues if you do happen to run into them. One thing that a lot of people wonder with these, they just want to leave them in the truck bed, right? Because they're heavy, a little cumbersome and difficult to put in and out all the time. So it makes sense. A lot of people want to get a tonneau cover just to cover it up, keep it protected, keep it out of sight, and wonder if it'll clear. And we have a good example today. We have a roll-up type tonneau cover. This is a made by Truxedo. It's a low pro one. And even when we cover it up, we still have several inches of space there to work with. And it's pretty rare, actually. It's hard to speak for every cover out there, but it's pretty rare that you run into any issues with the tonneau cover not being able to work with this type of hitch. This particular hitch is going to be rated for 25,000 pounds as far as the gross trailer weight rating goes. That's the amount of weight that's going to be pulling on the hitch. So the weight of your trailer plus anything you might have in or on it. I do always like to recommend, though, it's always a good idea to grab your truck's owner's manual. That way you can check in there and make sure it can handle that amount of weight safely. If you don't need something this heavy duty, there's another hitch pretty much identical to this, but it's rated for 20,000 pounds, so a little more light duty. It's usually a little bit lighter too, so if you're looking to take this in and out a little bit more often, not just leaving the bed, that might be a better solution, a little bit easier on your back when you go to do that type of thing. And this is a perfect example actually today of the quality of B&W components. So this has quite a few miles on it. Our neighbor today drove several hundred miles to our shop from Kentucky to get his trailer worked on, his truck worked on. And so this thing has some wear and tear on it, right? But even on the part that's going to get wore out the most, right? The part that's going to connect to your trailer, I mean, it's barely worked over, you know what I mean? So their finish is excellent, really thick powder coat. The rest of the hitch looks almost brand new. So I just figured I'd share that. If you can really put some miles on these things for a long time, they stay looking good, and they keep operating like you'd expect them to. I am a big fan of the jaw mechanism here. So this is super thick steel, 360-degree contact around your kingpin, and so that is extremely secure and should help reduce some of that chucking and road noise and stuff too, right? You'll have a more solid connection point there. I am a big fan of all the B&W handles, not only on these, but for their gooseneck, underbed gooseneck hitches, and all that type of thing. They just work, you know, they're super smooth. You know, no binds or kinks in them or anything like that, which is a small detail, but you know, after seeing some of the other hitches and everything, it could get annoying. I could see when you're over the road. So good to see there. And the head of it also articulates a little bit. This one could probably use a little bit of grease, but no big deal. It's something you have to do from time to time, right? You got to maintenance everything. I don't care what it is. But there's bushings in here. So I'll just take it off, show you. So there's some bushings in here that this rides on, and because of that articulation, it's going to be a little bit more easy to hook up to your trailer. There's some forgiveness there when you're going over bumps and things like that. This will help absorb a little bit more of that road shock and road noise. Other than that, at the end of the day, a really nice hitch. You know, in my opinion, B&W makes some of the nicest fifth wheel hitches and goosenecks and all that heavy duty stuff for that matter out there on the market. You know, you really can't go wrong. But with that said, I think they'll about do it for our look at of the B&W Companion fifth wheel hitch on our 2021 Chevy Silverado 3500.